In this video, we're going to be taking a look at your company configuration. And you do want to make sure that you are at top level when you're doing this, and you need to be a business user with full admin privileges in order to do configuration. So we're going to click on our applications dropdown, go to the company module, and then click on the setup tab. Under the configuration section, we're going to click on the company button. And when we get in here, then we're going to click edit on the right. So there are 4 tabs to go through today: general info, security, accounting, schedules. There's quite a lot of different fields. So some of this I am going to actually just gloss over. Let's say it's something that, doesn't apply to everybody, but you can, and this is across Intacct, you can click on this help and support in the top right-hand corner, and then you can click help on this page, and it will bring you into support articles on the page that you're viewing. And within here, then you can hit field descriptions, which literally goes through every single field that can be filled out on a particular page and gives you some more information on that. So for anything that we gloss over, you can come in and you can do help and support, help on this page, to get a more in-depth look at that. So in your general information tab, let's start with that. First thing we see is company ID, and this is the company ID with which you use to log in. And then you have your customer ID, and this is a number that you will need if you want to access Sage Intacct Community, which is a great resource to have. So that's your company ID, your customer ID. Then you're going to have your name and your address, and you do want to make sure that that is correct for your company. The administrative contact here then would have been set up when you originally signed up for Intacct, and you want to make sure that that is the correct person, and the email address that's associated with that user is correct also. An administrative contact cannot be made inactive in the system. So let's say there's somebody who's listed as your administrative contact and they are actually no longer with the company. They need to be made inactive. What you would have to do is you'd have to come into your company configuration, drop this down, edit it to whoever it's supposed to be, and then the user that was there would be able to be made inactive then. So it's important to remember that an administrative contact cannot be made inactive in the system. It would have to be changed here first. Check your legal address, make sure that that is correct. Your global settings, then these are going to come out of the box. Anything with the red asterisk is required, but these are going to be filled in. You can change your language, time zone, day format, time format, whatever makes the most sense for you and where you are in the world. Down here on your permission type, you do want to make sure that you are on role-based. So we have users that have been assigned roles. You can assign multiple roles to your users, and that is what determines the permissions that they have for what they can do in the system. So you absolutely want to make sure that you're on role-based here. Your display then, this application order is your dropdown, which can be moved around. So maybe you want to do it in alphabetical order or whatever you use the most on top. In order to change that, you would put your cursor over the 3 lines, select it, and just drag it around to wherever you want that and make it look whatever way you want. If you do it at the company configuration level, you're going to change that across the board for all of the users. It can also be done if you look at your username up here in the top right-hand corner and click on My Preferences. It can be done in there, and that is user specific. So if you do it here, you're going to do it across the board for all users. Entity color, then you can change the color of your top level. You can do a custom color if you want. This is only going to change the top level. And then if you wanted to change all of your entity colors, you would click your top level drop down here. And then beside each entity, there's a little circle, and you can actually just click the little drop down and you can edit the color of your entities there as well, if that is something that you wish to specify. Upload logo, then, if you press the little question mark that's beside this, it gives you the specifications that you need in order to have your logo accepted by the system. So it's no larger than 3 inches wide by 0.6 inches high. They accept GIF, JPEG, or PNG. So that is what it has to be. You literally are just going to click upload logo, choose file, and once you have uploaded it to the system, then it should appear up here. this printed logos and text. If you want more information on that, you can press the little question mark here and you can look into that. Perfect. We're going to move on now to our security tab. And the beginning of this is your timeout. So this is really going to depend on your company and what sort of inactivity timeouts that you want to put at the company level. So we usually find that 2 hours for your inactivity duration is enough. And then for the max, probably 3, 6, 12, something like this is normally what we would see, but it really depends. So let's say, you're always in Intacct, you're in Intacct all day long, but you get up and you go for lunch. When you come back, you don't want to have to log back in again. So you're probably good with your 2 hours there. But if you're in a high traffic office and it's a security control that you want in place, then you can definitely put less time on this. It doesn't have to be, you can do minutes if that's something that makes more sense for your business. So you can play around with those timeouts, but something like this would be fine. In your password section, then the reset password is actually set out of the box quarterly. We recommend that you set that to yearly because it usually times out when people are going live and they have to reset their password. So yearly is probably a better fit for that. This reuse of previous passwords, maximum, minimum attempts, something you can play around with, but the out of the box, we've never really seen any issues with that. Enforce IP address filters then is restricting access for people who are using a specific IP address. That's something that your IT may want to configure. Enable two-step verification then is going to make sure that every user has to use two-step verification when they log in. This is something that you will most likely want to turn on. Email sender domain settings then is making sure that all of the emails that come out of Intacct are coming from a specific domain. Once again, something that your IT will probably want to configure for you. In external authorizations then, you want to make sure that this is on the maximum. We cannot go any higher than 90 days, unfortunately, but you do want to make sure that you set it to 90. So this is for Intacct support. If they need to slide into your environment, this is giving them access. This is the maximum amount of time that you can give them to be able to slide into your environment. Enable single sign-on then. We're not going to go into detail on this today, but it is something that companies have asked for in the past. And if it's something that you require, hop on a Q&A or submit a ticket to us and we'll help you with getting that set up. Web services authorizations then, this is going to be something that you need to set up for your ISVs if you have ISVs that you're using, and they will give you the information that you need to put in here if you are indeed using ISVs. So Sage CM, Sage Estimating, payroll, different things like that. And they will give you that information. We can help you get that set up, but that will come directly from them. I would recommend that you set up, if you do not have it, this cdocs_v2, which is a way to access your merge fields through Word, through printed document templates, so that you can get those fields onto a template for printing out of the system. So if you do not see cdocs_v2, click add. In the sender ID here, type cdocs_V2. And then in the description, you can just put something like Word so that you know that it is associated with Word and it's a way to access those merge fields within the system. So that's one that I would recommend setting up if you do not have it in the system. So once you have that filled in, you can click save. I already have it, so I'm just going to X out of it. And you do want to make sure that you save again up here then in the top right-hand corner. So that's your web services authorizations. They will come from your ISVs and we can help you set them up. Authorized client applications, not something that we see happen that often with our clients, but if it is something that you need, that's going to come up naturally. You can definitely ask for our help with getting those set up. Content security policy then is basically just whitelisting URLs so that different ISVs can access what they need to. And this is going to come from them. It'll come from your ISVs. We can help you get set up with that as well. A lot of these ones that I have in my environment are payroll, but that will come up naturally as well. It's going to be something from your ISVs. So that's your security tab. Now we're going to move on to accounting. So you are going to want to be more than likely standard accounting periods, and you should be on accrual basis if you're construction. And then your first fiscal month and first tax month is really going to depend on your company and what your fiscal year is. So most people it's going to be January. If it's something different, then you do want to change that here. Your week begins on is important for payroll and different things like that. You do want to make sure that your week begins on is correct. So how your payroll runs. So whatever the first day, that's what you should be putting in here as your week begins on day. Your base currency, more than likely, I'm going to assume that it's going to be US dollars. If for any reason it's not, it can be changed here, but it should be on US dollars. Primary account number length should be 5. Best practice from us is to use a 5-digit account number length. If you're anything other than that, I am sure that at this point you've had a conversation with us about that. I have not seen any client need account field separators or sub-account length because of the use of dimensions in the system, so this you should not have to use. Quick Start template then is just going to be the template with which your environment was built off of, and service industry is what 99% of our clients are going to have. In schedules then, this comes out of the box. Monday through Friday is your work days, and then Sunday and Saturday are your weekends. So this is for company level across the board. It can also be changed at entity level if that's something that you need. And this holiday schedule, we don't see it used a lot, but for project resources or for time and expense, it is something that you might want to consider. So what it does is if you add in a holiday schedule, it prevents users from being able to log time and expense on holidays, basically. So it is a useful feature if that's something that you want to be able to put control over. So that is your 4 tabs on your company configuration. If you made any changes, like I said, you do want to make sure that you save. And anything that we glossed over today that you do want to take a deeper look at, click help and support, help in this page. Or if there's anything that you need set up that would require maybe a ticket, then please do get that submitted. Thank you.